Ordinary Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Well, less than 24 hours of my warning, as many others, Joe Biden is considering by executive order usurping the Constitution, taking powers he is not granted, and declaring climate change an unproven theory a national emergency so he can declare by executive order prohibiting, stopping all oil drilling on public lands, forcing the price of gasoline so astronomically high, as well as home heating oil so astronomically high, they are going to try and force us to buy electric vehicles or take public transportation, forcing us to install solar panels or windmills or buy into that type of power, and raising taxes on businesses up to 40% and making multimillionaire and billionaires pay even more. And some people say they don't pay any at all. But by taxing them even more to pay for this Green New Deal, which is clearly unconstitutional and stopped by Joe Manchin in a vote, they are now panicking and saying, we don't care what the Constitution says. It's a piece of paper and a suggestion to us. There's the article right there. Hope you can read it. Report: Joe Biden may call for a climate emergency this week, giving him unconstitutional powers. His support is also by this communist guy, Edwin Markey out of Massachusetts, who says he will back Joe Biden's bid to declare it a climate change emergency. That article is also in Breitbart News, July 19th, titled, Markey, we want Joe Biden to ban further drilling on public lands and declare an emergency power so that he can issue edicts of everything these climate change freaks want to do to this country by wrecking the economy, by changing it, by complying with United Nations Agenda 2030. And in the meantime, the traitor John Kerry, who is buzzing around in his private jet, just got done attending a meeting in Germany with various heads of state, various heads of country, and various businessmen who are completely on board with the United Nations 2030 agenda to discuss in private what they plan on doing and how to implement through executive orders the United Nations Agenda 2030. And when people said, hey, what are you doing? How can you get away with driving around or flying around in your private jet? His response is, well, I'm changing my lifestyle because I'm flying to private meetings to bring about climate change. Everybody else needs to do what we say in reducing their carbon footprint. But my job is to fly around and attend these meetings and promote this agenda. That's how the elitists think. Do as I say, not as I do. And if you disobey, there will be consequences. Folks, it took less than 24 hours, and you have senators, liberal, leftist senators, not only from Massachusetts, but from Oregon, Washington, and all others that support this Green New Deal, that dimwit AOC. No matter what it takes, they will usurp the authority and demand you come into compliance. No matter what the Constitution says, no matter what the courts say, they're going to implement this deal and punish all of us that fight back. Just ask the people down in Australia. They're like, hey, we don't have any power. We don't have any energy. Ask the people in Japan. They're saying, hey, we're going to restart the nuclear reactors because you know what? We can't have our population sitting in the dark and being cold and not being able to cook their food and put limits on when they can and cannot run their devices or charge their cars or anything else. The people in Germany that were sold out by Angela Merkel and this Green New Deal are now saying we're going to restart our nuclear power because we need to stay warm, and Russia has just cut off our fuel supply. It's a hoax, folks. It's a way to usurp authority and dictate to you what they're going to do. It's a hoax. And they will, if they implement this presidential whatever edict, it will be challenged immediately in court as an unconstitutional usurping of authority. You can't declare you're going to stop drilling on public lands and create a greater crisis. But I warned you, this is their goal. This is their goal. To increase their power, tax you beyond belief, forcing you into a lifestyle change you don't want. Look it up for yourself. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Please continue to do so. Get yourself right with God. Get submerged in water, baptized in the name of Jesus Christ. It's coming, folks. It's coming. The left has gone nuts, and they won't be happy until they create a war. Greg out.